Hi everyone, it's Christina. Today's video is about productivity tips. So I am here with 3 productivity tips that I use in my daily life that help me accomplish my daily goals and eventually my long-term goals. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then keep on watching. So the first tip I actually have little notes here just so I can stay on track. So the first tip I have is to stay organized. And this seems kind of simple and probably something that you may think you're already doing, but it's something that I have noticed kind of gets put to the side. You kind of go through your daily routine thinking you're just doing everything you need to do. Maybe it's going to work or maybe it's going to school, but it's kind of you're just going through the motions. But I have found by being organized, it will help you accomplish your goals a lot better. And for me, that includes making a to-do list every day. So every day I think about the different things I need to do that day, or the different things I may need to do towards the end of the week and what I need to do that day to accomplish those. Or maybe I know I need to mail something, or maybe I know I need to write a letter, or I need to type up something, or I know I need to go to the grocery store. I will make a list of everything I need to do for that day. That way I don't forget things, because I find if I don't make a list, a lot of times I will forget something. So I think a to-do list is a necessity if you want to be organized and keep yourself on track. And another key tip to stay organized is to give everything a place. So if you have your pens, or you may have your tools, or your notebooks, or even your clothes, little things like that, you want everything to have a home, a place where everything belongs. That way, if you're looking for something, you know where it is. Or if someone asks you where something is, you can tell them where it is. And little things like this, again, is something that seems like it doesn't really matter, but in the bigger scheme, it kind of does. It helps you stay on track, whether it's you're looking for your keys or you're looking for this shirt that you're trying to wear for the day. If you have everything organized and everything has a place, then it'll be easier to find that clothing item, or find your keys, or find your phone, or your notebook. Everything should have a place, and you should remember what that place is. And also maybe even your passwords or your login information. All those things should be organized and put somewhere in a specific place that you can reference so that you can know where everything is. And another thing that I think is a key thing to being organized is having a daily planner. Now, a lot of people like to use the daily planner on their phone and set a reminder on their phone for whatever they're trying to do. But I find having the paper daily planner is to me, it's key. I use a paper daily planner and I actually write down the different things I need to do, any appointments I have, the days I go to work, what times, maybe if I have a meeting. I actually write those things down in the daily planner, and I can open up my daily planner and I can look and see what I have planned. And I like to get the daily planner where it's like a little box for each one. Basically where it'll have like the whole month view, and then each week will have like its own separate box where you can write down a to-do list, or you can write down notes about that day, or if you have any meetings that day, anything you need to accomplish for that day, you can write that inside of the weekly portion of your daily planner. I find that that notebook is the most effective for me. But if you just want to use the regular regular daily planner where it's just the whole month on like a grid and you can just write everything in their little box, that's fine too. But I just think it gives you more space if you have each week planned out as well, and have their own separate box. I love those daily planners the most, and I found those to be very helpful in staying organized. So those are the main things I would say to focus on for being organized, and that is tip number 1. So for tip number 2, it is to focus on your priorities. So To focus on your priorities, that means thinking about what is the most important. And not only thinking about what is the most important, but also thinking about what goals you are trying to accomplish. So this may include creating a list of your short-term goals and long-term goals. So your short and long-term goals will be related. So your short-term goals will be the things you need to do to accomplish your long-term goals. And you would want to make a list for both. I would suggest making your long-term goals list first and then creating your short-term goals. So for example, you may want to lose 20 pounds by December of 2019 or by the end of the year. So you may want to write out in your short-term goals to exercise 3 to 5 times a week. And then within your to-do list that I mentioned before, or maybe even in your short-term goals as well, you would want to put your workout that you are going to do for each day. And you also want to adapt that over time. So you would want to write down, okay, today is leg day, tomorrow is going to be arm day. And you can include this in your daily planner as well. So it'll keep you on track, and you also have your short-term goals within that whole thing, and then also is helping you reach your long-term goals. So I find that this is something that keeps me on track and helps me accomplish whatever my long-term goal is. Or maybe your long-term goal might be a promotion. So you need to write down the different things that you would want to do to accomplish those, to accomplish that goal. If you want to get a promotion, what do you need to do to get that promotion? So you would write down all the different things you would need to do to get the promotion, and then you would chart the plan to accomplish that long-term goal. So maybe you might want to put down, maybe you want to volunteer for something or present something to the company, whatever it may be. You want to write those things down and put down a specific date, specific time frame that you want to accomplish that in a recent or a soon history or soon date, I guess I should say. So I think that that is definitely key when you want to focus on your priorities. And then you also want to decide, when you're talking about those priorities, you want to talk about, think about, is that what is most important to you? Is that what is most important to your life and what you're trying to accomplish and who you're trying to be? Think about those things as you create your goals and as you decide what your priorities are. So that is tip number 2. So tip number 3 is to minimize activities and people that distract you from accomplishing your goals. So a lot of times we want to hold on to past friends, or we might just want to hold on to different activities that we think are fun because we've always done them. But I have found that these things will hold you back and will take away from time you could be using towards your priorities. If you take that time away from maybe those friends or those activities that are distracting from your goals, then that will help you put more time towards your goals. So say, for example, you might be spending, I don't know, every Friday hanging out with friends doing whatever you do. But instead, if you decide, okay, is that important to my future? You decide, okay, well, maybe I will only do that once a month, and instead use that time to do something that is productive towards you reaching your goals. And I find that little things like this is helpful to the whole big picture of what you're trying to do. So tip number 1 is to stay organized. Tip number 2 is to focus on your priorities. And then tip number 3 is to minimize activities and people that distract you from accomplishing your goals. So these 3 things I have found are the main keys to productivity and to increasing your productivity and staying productive. I have learned a lot along my journey that has helped me realize these things. So I hope that these are things that you can use in your life and things that you find to be helpful. But if you have any suggestions or any more tips, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you in the next one.